From time to time, we come across stories of women who survived dangerous situations by using only their beauty. We've heard about ancient Greek myths where a woman's beauty saved her from being eaten by monsters. Or how in the Victorian era, a woman could protect herself from an attacker by just scratching them with her nails. Now let me tell you a story about the Pussycats. These are ordinary girls who don't possess any superpowers, but they know how to use what they have. They're not afraid of dangerous monsters, because these girls have weapons more powerful than any sword or spell. Isekai to another word with zombies, orcs, dragons, trolls, and other monsters. A world where the most powerful weapon is your pussy. Welcome to another episode of the Isekai Explained series. And before we start, remember that all the events in this video are fictional. Our beautiful female characters find themselves in terrifying situations. The only way out for them is to use their feminine wiles. In this video, we'll look at how our heroines do it and why it works so well. The Pussycat girls are maybe not the best, but they are certainly among the top 10. No matter what race or social status they are, no matter whether they're a warrior or a baker's daughter. If a Pussycat girl wants something, she will get it, and their formidable weapon is not their claws, teeth. In order to understand how effective the Pussycat's weapon is, we need to take a closer look at the world they inhabit. A world full of adventure, where the line between good and evil is blurred. You might think that this world is just like ours. But once you step into it, you realize that everything is completely different here. Monsters and magic are part of everyday life. Magic is everywhere, even though people don't always notice it. Sometimes magic reveals itself in the most unexpected ways. The world is full of dangers, and you can face all sorts of terrible creatures. There are, for example, goblins that lure travelers off the road and then pounce on them. Trolls living under bridges demand tribute from those who want to cross over. There are also vampires, werewolves, demons, and all kinds of nasty stuff. If you want to survive in this world, you need to be prepared for anything. But there are even greater dangers here. There are malevolent sorcerers and witches who cast dark spells and evil curses. They're cruel, merciless, and absolutely ruthless. Dark sorcerers will stop at nothing to achieve their goals. Nothing scares them. Not even the most powerful gods. These guys deal with souls and death, and they usually don't care about innocent lives. Creatures and villains from fairy tales are just some of the problems that the inhabitants of this world have to deal with. And this world is full of men, and they're no better than demons or ogres. To make things worse, there are all kinds of magical beasts prowling around. And when all this stuff isn't enough, sometimes hordes of undead attack villages. There are entire guilds dedicated to hunting monsters, and even they can't cope with all the danger. That's why Pussycat girls need to be able to defend themselves. And this world gives them plenty of opportunities to put their skills to use. After all, they're real warriors. They have to fight against orcs who hate all people. These are huge, strong, and vicious creatures who only understand the language of force. If you meet orcs in the forest, they'll immediately attack you. And if you survive the first blow, the second one will definitely kill you. Fighting orcs requires not only strength and skill, but also courage and endurance. Orcs are merciless. They won't take prisoners, and they enjoy killing. Battles with orcs are always tough and dangerous. Not even to mention trolls. They're cunning and malicious creatures. Trolls are treacherous and bloodthirsty. They live in caves and forests and attack anyone who dares set foot in their territory. Trolls are very strong and almost immortal. They regenerate quickly, so hitting them with a sword or stabbing them with a spear doesn't do much. Only a skilled warrior with great experience can defeat a troll. Well, I guess I don't need to talk about dragons. They're strong, smart, have sharp claws and teeth, wings, fire, magic, and high-flying skills. They're the most dangerous creatures in this world. And if that's not enough, add to that the fact that dragons are greedy, arrogant, selfish, and merciless. These are typical lone wolves who attack everyone. Those are extremely nasty creatures who use dark magic and raise necromancy to the rank of art. Likes are insidious and cunning. And there's no mercy for those who fall into their clutches. The only way to defeat a lich is to destroy the phylactery containing its soul. But finding it is nearly impossible. But despite all these threats, pussycats aren't afraid. What's more, they relish the danger. These girls know how to fight, how to hunt, how to track, how to kill. They know how to read their enemies like books, and they always have a few tricks up their sleeves. One wrong move from the enemy, and the pussycat strikes. She knows every weak spot of her enemy, and she hit there for sure. The cat girls are especially successful in dealing with creatures of the night. When fighting against vampires, werewolves, demons, and other evil spirits, they can use their own magic, the magic of their bodies. The pussycat's main advantage is their femininity, which they enhance with clothing that accentuates their figure. They know exactly which dress will make the monster's head spin. And this is perhaps their most powerful weapon. A properly chosen outfit can mesmerize any creature, even a dragon. It's hard to believe, but in the world where our story takes place, there's a lot of stuff that's stronger than steel, spells, and even divine powers. One of these things is the female body. The pussycat girls know how to use it, and that's why they're so dangerous. In order to prove my point, I can give you a few examples. Have you ever seen a frightened kitty? How does she behave? She puffs up her fur, trying to look bigger. She hisses and bared her claws. Then she runs away. That's how cats protect themselves. They try to look as intimidating as possible. But deep down, they're still scared. But a pussycat girl doesn't try to intimidate the enemy. She doesn't puff up or run away. She uses what she has. And she knows how to do it perfectly. In this world, the pussycat's weapon works wonders. No monster or evil spirit can resist it. You may ask, why do they use only their bodies and not their minds? But that's just an illusion created by the world. For example, let's take one of the most powerful artifacts in the world, the Amulet of Yenda. This amulet can grant any wish. All you have to do is find it. The amulet's power lies dormant until it's picked up by a virgin. But as soon as someone puts the amulet on, it sucks all the life force out of that person. The victim turns into dust right before their eyes. And who's more likely to find the amulet? An unassuming young lady walking through the forest or a heavily armed warrior? Of course, the warrior. But he'll never put the amulet on, and that's why the search always ends without success. And here's another example. In this world, there's a law that says whatever you desire most, it will be destroyed. And again, what do you think will happen if you make a wish? For example, the warrior might wish for victory over the orc horde. But the moment he utters his wish, the horde disappears, and he finds himself facing a much more formidable enemy. And that's why pussycats don't waste their desires and don't call attention to themselves. Their beauty is their main weapon, and they use it wisely. As you can see, this world is a peculiar mix of medieval times and the era of magical adventures. And that's why the pussycat's weapon is so effective here. They're not afraid of any monster, and they're always ready for a fight. They know how to use what they have, and that makes them truly formidable warriors.